All right, guys. So we are going to get started, guys. Take your seats. You guys can take your seats. We're going to get started. Yep. Awesome. Glad you like it. All right, great. So we're going to be talking about winning client models, how to package and price your agency services. This is session 5 of Mission to Millions. So we've been talking about how to start a AI agency business. I personally scaled my agency from $71,000 a month to $2 million a month in 1 year, and then $2 million to $4 million a month 1 year after that. And then we had a massive downturn in our one niche, and then we kind of diversified into multiple niches. We kind of do a quarter of that revenue-wise now, but in a variety of different niches. But still, 7 figures a month is the kind of bare minimum that I want to see in my agency any given time. But maybe for you, you want to start a business that can generate you enough money to provide for your family, maybe leave your 9 to 5. This is definitely something you can do as a side hustle. Someone asked me, during the break, hey, did you do this like while you were working your 9 to 5? Yes, I did on the side. I would like take appointments like throughout the day because I was just in a sales job at that time. So I would like leave the office and like go do a phone call real quick and close a client. I signed up like 20 clients in my first month, and I just like left that job. And then 6 months later, my wife was able to quit her job. She helped me with the business at the beginning, but now she's just our stay-at-home rock star and takes care of our daughter Aria. And I can just focus on the business. And we've built a team around us, so I don't really have to do much more than like 20 to 30 hours of work a week and maintain that 8-figure business every year. So, as far as how this business works is, we're essentially generating leads for other businesses. There's so many small businesses in America, so many small businesses that need to grow their business. They need to grow their revenue. They need more clients, and they need help with that. And so we charge them $3,000 to $5,000 on average to start out, and then we ascend them up after they start generating new business. we try to get them to spend $10,000 a month or $15,000 a month if they can afford it. And we just continue to ramp up their results, get referrals from those clients to grow our business. In the last session, I talked about how, in our top month, we added 203 clients in 1 month, and 40% of those were all referrals. So about 60 of them were referrals. Once you start building revenue generating systems, hiring other people to replace you, you can really scale this business a lot. But the first goal is to basically get to your first client. So how do you get your first client? How do you get your first paying client? How do you scale to 30 grand a month? How do you scale to 50 grand a month? How do you hire more people and then get to 100 grand a month? It's based on this business model. So we're going to talk about learning to package, price, and scale your AI agency services for max profit. Yesterday, we talked a lot about the different tools that we use. I'm going to have to re-record it for the live stream because we had some technical difficulties. But essentially, we're going to talk about now kind of like, how do you package this? How do you put it together? And then in a future session after lunch, we're going to talk about, selling it, like how to sell it, how to actually have a good high ticket sales process. And I think we'll have some good conversations about the sales process and how to improve it. So, as far as, the traditional agency pricing model, the way agencies traditionally have charged is like a monthly retainer for ad management and funnels. The client pays ad spend separately on the platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Google, etc. And the challenges are there's a lack of control, there's billing issues, and there's disruption risk. So, essentially what this means is that, a lot of agencies, they would charge like a percentage of ad spend. So say a client is spending, $3,000 in ad spend, they might charge 15% of ad spend, right? So if it's $3,000 a month they're spending in ad spend, they would charge them $450 to like manage their social media, maybe make posts, maybe run some ads, boost some posts, maybe run a managed ad campaign or whatever, but not really much profit there. Like to have clients only paying you $400 or $500 a month, maybe $1,000 a month. A lot of people just kind of really lowball because they're not really targeting industries and niches that are wealthy and that have money to pay for your services. So generally when we do it a little bit of a different way, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But the traditional model is that you get connected to the client's ad account and you run the ads on their ad account. And that comes with its own issues that basically you have to connect with their Facebook page, you have to connect with their brand, you have to connect with their ad account, and it adds an extra layer of complexity where now you have to build out their campaign pretty much manually and according to their brand guidelines. And so when we do lead generation, we don't do it that way for a number of reasons. Number one, if we're added to the client's ad account, with one click of a button, they can just remove you from their ad account and steal all of your work. So they can actually take all of your campaign that you worked so hard on and just kick you off and keep your work and have it continue to run and never pay you again. So when we first built our agency, we structured it so that all of our clients put their credit cards on our ad accounts. We had separate ad accounts for every client. So every ad account would have a different client and the clients would put their credit card on it. And we would be in control of the business manager of the Facebook ad platform so that the clients didn't have access to that. They didn't view the ads. They couldn't see our work, and nor could they steal it. But there was problems with that because that's what caused Facebook to shut us down when we reached 300 grand a month back in 2019. It was because a lot of our clients' credit cards would decline frequently. So every day, about 10% of all of our clients, say we had 150 clients at that time, about 10% of the clients would decline every single day when their credit cards were due to re-up on Facebook. And so when you're getting 10 to 15 clients' ad accounts declining every single day and then having to wait for them to resolve those declines, Facebook doesn't like that. They want to get paid. So they shut us down because we had too many credit cards declining on our business manager. And so that posed its own risk because we were taking on clients' credit cards onto our accounts. So instead, basically, the new setup that I have with this AI agency model is much simpler. We're running campaigns through our Facebook pages, on our ad accounts, through our high-level accounts. This event is sponsored by High Level. I'm one of their new affiliate partners. And so when you learn my methods, you'll get access to all of my snapshots and all of my strategies with High Level, how to connect it all together. And essentially, we run all of our ads for a specific industry under one ad account. So we'll have one ad account that's dedicated to like the solar industry, or dedicated to the roofing industry, or dedicated to the life insurance industry. And that plugs in through High Level. We're able to run AI generated ads through High Level, run AI call centers through High Level, and all of it's connected through one account. And we pay the ad spend. So we charge the clients $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and then they pay us, and then we pay the ad spend on our accounts. What this does is it makes it so that Facebook never doesn't not get paid. I don't know if that makes sense. So Facebook always gets paid because we're the ones paying for the ad spend. If a client doesn't pay us, we just pause the campaign so we don't lose money. And this is a much better business model because now we can make money on their ad spend. We can determine how much goes to ad spend. We can determine how much we keep. We can get cashback points on our credit cards for spending it on their ad spend. So, at the first Malibu Mastermind that we did last year at this very hotel, I talked about the math to get to $1 million a month, because in that room, there were a lot of people who were at 200 grand a month, 500 grand a month already. And we talked about how you can use the ad spend as a profit generating expense. Let me explain what that means. So it's an expense in the sense that you're paying for the ads, but it's profit generating because you're generating 2% cash back with the Chase Inc. business card or the Capital One Spark business card. And then we charge a 3.5% compliance fee on all of the transactions. The reason why we charge a 3.5% compliance fee is because there's compliance related with online marketing. We have to make sure that we're following all the regulations. We have to make sure that our opt-in forms are compliant. We have to make sure that we're keeping track of all the opt-ins and making sure that they're not going to get in trouble for calling these leads, whether by AI or otherwise. And so we charge a 3.5% compliance fee. It's technically not legal to charge a credit card processing fee. Technically. So we call it a compliance fee. So we make 2% cash back. We make 3.5% on the compliance fee. So that's 5.5%. And then Google, for the longest time, would give us credits back because we were spending all the money on Google. They would give us about 4% back, anywhere from 2 to 4% every quarter for all the money we spent on Google. So you have 2% cash back. You have 3.5% compliance fee. Then you have 2 to 4% in credits back from the ad platforms. And so every single time a client spent $1 in ad spend, we would make between 7 and 9 cents in profit just by structuring our business model this way. So it was a much smarter way. It kept us from getting shut down by the ad platforms. It helped us make more money. And ultimately, it made the company more profitable because we could determine if someone paid $5,000 a month, how much is going to go to ads. I was explaining to one of the students before that, depends on the niche. Like one niche on a $5,000 investment, you might put $3,000 toward the ads and keep $2,000. Another niche, we might put $2,000 toward the ads and keep $3,000 as our gross profit. In other campaigns, we might keep $4,000 and only spend $1,000 on the ad campaign. It depends on the niche and what the number of leads we could get for that budget and whether the client could handle that. In those niches where we can generate more leads, we might keep more profit. And that's basically not unethical, I don't think, because if I'm generating them enough opportunities to fill their pipeline and make them sales, then I should be compensated more for that because I'm doing a better job with the marketing. So that's essentially the model here, is that we're not doing it the traditional way where the client pays ad spend separately. You have to use their credit cards. You have to deal with their declines all the time. Every time a $900 charge on Facebook declines, it's like, oh, you got to go to the client and tell them to resolve that. Otherwise, the campaign's going to suffer. No more of that. No more of clients just kicking you off their ads manager and stealing all your work. So this is different than the traditional agency pricing model. And then, so this is exactly what I just said. Yeah, question? Go ahead.
Did you ever, this is obviously, I'm insecure about this, but did you ever find that you were running a higher level of chargeback risk while taking that spend?
Absolutely. So we did have a higher level of chargeback risk because clients could now charge back the ad spend. But we always, when we charge clients, we separate, in the past, we would separate how much would go to ad spend, how much would go to retainer in separate transactions. So that in our contracts, we could say like, hey, this amount was toward ad spend. And then when we would fight that dispute, we would win it. But now once we started offering flat fees, we just say like, in our contracts that like the full amount can't be charged back. And so we win those disputes more often than not. We have about a 85% win rate with our disputes. So it is a cash flow problem because sometimes it takes 2 to 3 months to resolve those disputes. But the money that we make from the compliance fees, the cashback points, the compliance fees, cashback points, and credits back to the ad platforms more than cover enough of like a reserve that covers those disputes. So it ends up just becoming, a negative on the books, but a positive when, like, every month we have some disputes coming in, and then every month we have disputes getting resolved in our favor. So it ends up becoming a wash, or usually we're in the positive. Yeah, question on that?
Oh, well, none of that. You guys,
I was going to ask you run multiple processors.
Yeah, we use multiple processors. Yeah, we have multiple processing platforms just to diversify risk.
Right.
And we also diversified the amount of transactions. So we have sometimes some clients we bill weekly, some clients we bill monthly, some clients we bill bi-monthly. Some clients we bill more than that because we charge them for the call center appointments once a week. We charge them for the retainer for the call center. So there's multiple transactions. The more transactions you have, lowers your overall dispute percentage.
Right.
So that's how that works. But let's hold off some of the questions to the end because I know we're having lunch in 30 minutes. I just want to get through this session. And if we have time for questions at the end, I'm happy to answer them. But yeah, just another couple of problems with the traditional model is that you can't optimize ad spend effectively. Like if clients' credit cards are declining all the time, you have to pause the campaigns. It's going to ruin the campaign's performance. So it ends up just making your clients unhappier even more because they don't realize they're the cause of the problem, but they don't care. They just care about results. So they end up canceling anyway. So by having control over the ad spend, you're going to actually get them better results. This is actually the ethical thing to do, is collect your clients' ad spend, because now they're not going to shoot themselves in the feet. And then they have no control over the ad account performance. So it's another thing. Like if we're in an industry, like say we have only solar clients in one ad account, we can really optimize that ad account for that industry. Like we're pooling all of our clients' resources together into one account. That account's going to be juiced up. It's going to have a lot of good data for that industry, rather than separating each client into every single separate ad account where you can't pool all that data together. So it's actually going to improve the performance of the campaign. We sell this a lot to clients. They're like, well, why can't I just use my account? Why can't I just, put my credit card and you hook up with my Facebook page or my account? Well, number one, we don't run the ads that way. We talked about that yesterday. We run templated campaigns through generic brands. But secondly, and that's for like better results. Like they get better results that way. And then the second thing is that you're not going to be able to have all the data on a brand new ad account, fresh ad account. You're not going to be able to spend as much as you want to spend. You're not going to be able to get the high enough quality of leads that way. Your lead quality is going to go down and your lead quantity is going to go down because we're using a fresh ad account in your account. So use our account. It's already juiced up. It already has a bunch of data. It's already going to get you results right away. So what we do is we collect the retainer and ad spend up front. We collect both. So example, like a $4,000 total fee, we put $2,500 toward the ads, $1,500 toward retainer, or it could be the other way around. It could be $2,500 goes to the retainer and $1,500 goes to the ads. The client doesn't necessarily have to know because it's just a flat fee. They don't have to know how much you're putting toward it. And sometimes clients will ask, well, how much is actually going to the campaign if I'm just paying a flat fee? Well, a majority of your campaign is going to go to expenses. We have expenses. We have the ad spend. We have our payroll. We have our staff. We have, creative directors. We have software costs. We have all these different things. So, it's fine to say that like, hey, a majority of your spend is going to go to expenses, because unless you have 80%, 90% profit margins, which no one's going to have off of a gross, payment that includes ad spend, you're not going to really have to lie to them by telling them that a majority of the campaign is going to go toward, as long as your profit margins are below 50%, you can say that. So, I'm more of an opinion, I'd much rather have 30, 40% profit margins than have 80, 90% profit margins. Yeah, you could be at 50 grand a month and have 80% profit margins, but can you really build a business off that? Can you really, if you're not investing back in your business, investing in your team, investing in growing your business, what is it really worth? You could have a $50,000 a month business at 80% profit margins. What is that? That's $40,000 a month profit. But I'd much rather have a $300,000 a month business at 30% profit margins, because it's just a safer business. If you're at 50,000 a month, you're only a month away from going out of business. If you're at 300 grand a month, you probably got at least a quarter, 3 months to be able to make changes so you don't go out of business. So I've always found that more volume, more clients is this much safer business model than trying to go for the high profits but lower revenue. And it gives you control and eliminates billing delays. So we set up our clients on auto renewal every single month. They get charged, and we keep their cards on file, and hopefully their card clears 80, 90% of the time. 10, 20% of the time it doesn't clear. We have to clear that up, and we're just going to pause the campaign until they clear it. We're not going to run the campaign for free. And then benefits of ad spend collection. We talked a little bit about this. You can pause campaigns if clients cancel. You can avoid declined cards on Facebook and Google accounts. You got simpler, smoother operations, and obviously the financial benefits. If you charge a 3.5% compliance fee, you don't have to you basically cover your processing fees. If you get cashback rewards, I mean, if some of you guys are world travelers, I mean, it's amazing, like the amount of points that I could get with Amex and Capital One and Chase and stuff. Like I could travel anywhere I want in first class. I just don't travel that much. Like I'd rather just have the cash and funnel that back into my business or funnel it overseas to causes I care about rather than, travel the world. I mean, I just go back and forth between Nevada and California because I've got a house in both states, and we usually drive. We did find this really cool charter jet service, but they went out of business because it was too cheap. It was just like a private jet membership where it was like $2,000 a month. We could fly as many places we wanted with a private jet, unlimited. That was a really bad business model because we took advantage of that. But yeah, so
That's not even real.
yeah.
Can you tell me next time you find one of those?
Yeah, I'll tell you next time I find one of those. I don't think they're going to exist anymore. They had a bunch of private equity firm money backing it, and I don't know how they plan to monetize that, but they ran out of cash real fast. Yeah, the flat fee model, charge a single monthly fee, keep the difference. So example, $8,000 a month flat, $1,800 spent on ads. That's pretty aggressive, but we do have some clients that are in that situation. Like I have some clients in certain niches where they pay $20,000 a month and $14,000 goes to retainer and $6,000 goes to ads. I mean, it's going to be really hard to convince a client to pay you a $14,000 retainer and you're only spending $6,000 on ads if you disclose that. But the fact is that they're spending $20,000 a month, they're making $100,000 a month, and they're happy. So if they're happy and they're making 5 times as much, why shouldn't I get paid more because I'm just doing a good job? That's my philosophy on it. So you're keeping that difference in profit due to efficiency and due to using AI and all the benefits of doing so with all the tools that we talked on yesterday. So why the flat fee works, clients pay for results, not ad spend breakdown. So you're focused on your sales presentations on results, like how many leads they're going to get, how many sales are they going to get. You're focused on results. You're not focused on hey, this is how much you're paying, and this is the breakdown. Like you're not focused on how much money you're getting paid. It's just hey, this is what it costs to generate the results that you want. And higher margins if your AI ads outperform expectations. So then there's the pay per lead model. We've done this sometimes. I highly advise against it. I don't think it's a really good business model. This is where clients pay per lead an appointment. Example, $70 per lead times 100 leads is $7,000 a month. The challenges are it's hard to scale. You have billing disputes. People want credits on their leads because now they see you as a lead vendor, not as a marketing professional. And there's low margins. You have to pay for the ad spend. You have to hope that you get lead costs at a certain point to be able to make a profit. When we first launched our agency, I was on the pay per lead model. And when I didn't know what I didn't know. Some clients I was getting $10 leads for, but then I signed up clients on the other side of the country and I was getting $60 leads. Well, I was charging $60 per lead. So you can see the problem with that. I was making $50 a lead on the East Coast, but on the West Coast, I was making $0. I was actually losing money. So the pay per lead model can be very risky if you don't really know your numbers and you're just starting out. So I highly recommend against that. It's easy to sell because people I just pay per lead, but there's a way to do it differently where you charge for the flat fee model, but then you charge them per appointment on top with our AI call center agents. So by using high level and our AI call center software, you can set appointments for them and charge on top of that. We talked about in the last session about another student who basically did that model. Before he was just charging a flat fee, a retainer of $3,000 a month. We lowered the retainer from $3,000 to $2,000, and then he started adding per appointment prices on top, and he increased his revenue by 40%. So you could do a flat fee plus appointments. It's much better than doing just a straight pay per lead model, in my opinion, or a pay per appointment model. So why I don't recommend pay per lead disputes, credits, reduce revenue, risk shifts to you, and you have unpredictable income, And flat fees are simpler and more scalable. Plus, you could just add an extra per appointment cost with the AI call center. So here's some niche pricing examples. Different niches. You could have solar installers. You could charge them $5,000 a month. You could profit $3,000. Roofing, you could charge them $4,000 a month, profit $2,500. Generator companies, $8,000 a month, profit $6,200. These are real examples that we use in the niches that we target. So these are some examples. And then more life insurance, $3,000 to $5,000 a month. For successful life insurance agencies, med spas, $4,500 a month, profit $3,000. Law firms, $5,000 to $7,000 a month. That's pretty common for law firms to pay those fees. I know a lot of you guys here in this room are doing that even right now. More niche examples: luxury real estate, $5,000 a month; dentist, orthodontist, $3,500 a month. Probably even higher than that sometimes with these dentists. Home remodelers, $4,000 a month. These are all normal prices in the U.S. to charge for marketing services. And then you just work out the ad spend on the back end. And as you optimize your ads and make them more efficient, you can increase your profits over time. And like I said, the AI appointment upsell. So you could charge $20 to $90 per booked appointment. And if, say, you got 50 appointments for a client and you charge them $50 per appointment, that's $2,500 extra per month per client. And we generally charge a small retainer fee on top of that to get those clients on an extra retainer for the AI appointment setting as well. So, basically, if you're looking at this business model, like you're looking at about $2,000, maybe a little bit less per month on the software stack, depending on what softwares you want to use. Profit per client, often $2,000 to $6,000. 10 clients, you could easily get to $30,000 to $50,000 a month profit if you're just doing this solo. So a solopreneur could easily do this if you're getting ideal clients and charging them high enough. So you could scale without staff. You could have AI replace your media buyers like they did for us. We used to pay our media buyers $100,000 to $200,000 per month. We used to pay them a percentage of ad spend model because we charge our clients probably 40, sometimes 50%, sometimes higher per percentage of ad spend. And now we were able to replace that with our AI ad software, which you can get access to in my program, which I'll put the link below if you want to check that out. It's a really simple, low payment to get started. It's just $27 for Christian entrepreneurs to want to start this type of AI business. And then you get access to the first two modules, and you can essentially get an overview of the business model. And then at that point, decide if you want to join the rest of the program, where you can get weekly calls with me and essentially learn more about how to implement this business with my help. So, the AI ads replace the media buyers, appointment setters, call centers, and you can run a $100K a month agency as a solopreneur. I think a lot of you guys in this room that are struggling to get to $100,000 a month, it's probably because you're spending so much time building campaigns, you're spending so much time calling leads, dealing with setting leads on your calendar. Imagine if you had AI replacing your replacing your ads process, optimizing your ads for you. It would free up so much more time for you to prospect and to close deals. If you had an AI appointment setter just booking appointments on your calendar, filling it up, you'd be able to take a lot more sales calls and probably scale to $100,000 a month a lot faster. So, if you could take the AI or take the ads building and the media buying off your plate, you'd be surprised how fast you could scale to $100,000 a month, especially if you're going after some of these ideal niches and price points and profit margins. So that's essentially that. Let's see. Yeah, and then we've got keys to pricing confidence. You want to know your client ROI and close deals with value. This is why it's so important to understand your niche. Like, how much is a deal worth to them? This is something that we often ask on every single sales call. Hopefully we already know it. We don't have to ask that question directly because sometimes clients don't like answering that question. Like if you ask them, hey, how much do you make per deal? Or how much do you make per project? Or how much do you make per job? It might seem like a pretty intrusive question to ask. But if you know certain things, like for instance, if you're talking to a life insurance agent and you ask them, hey, so how much annual premium do you write in a month? They might say, oh, I write like, 12,000 in a month annual premium. So you're asking them like, how much life insurance do you sell a month? Well, if you know that usually the amount of annual premium that a life insurance agent sells, they usually make 90% to 120% of that in commissions paid to them up front, just for the client signing and paying the first month's life insurance premium. So if they're writing $12,000 in annual premium, they're probably going to be making anywhere from, $11,000 a month to $15,000 or $16,000 a month. They could easily afford, a $3,000 package to grow to $20,000 a month in income. So that's kind of, you want to know the ROI in your industry. Like if solar companies make an average of $6,000 to $8,000 per deal, you don't necessarily have to ask them that directly. You could just figure out the math by asking them how big their projects are and how many projects they sell a month. You could find out how much revenue they have and determine when you're pricing them based upon their ROI. Like, hey, you want to get from 10 deals a month to 20 deals a month. This is what it's going to take. It's going to require a $15,000 a month investment. Oh, that's too much. Okay, let's go down to 10. Oh, that's too much. Okay, I can make an exception this one time, but we can do it for $5K a month. And I think we'll probably be able to get you about half of what we're doing for $15K a month. Does that work? And they will sign up. So clients care about results, not your ad budget. As long as you don't focus on the ad budget and how much is actually going to be spent, most clients don't care. They don't ask. They just want to care about results. And some clients do ask, and you could just maneuver that based upon how we talked about before. So this model creates high profit and freedom. If you can charge a client $5,000 and make most of that as gross profit, then you just have your expenses. You have your team. If you have a salesperson, you pay them a little bit of commission residually for every time the client renews every month. And they manage the account. They can even run the ads like they do for us. Like our salespeople, they set up the ads in the AI ads platform and the AI optimizes it for us. We pay them a residual commission ongoing every single month that a client renews. And there's profit for that. There's profit set aside for the sales team's commission because we're not having a bulk of the money go to ad spend. At some point, I just realized, why is all this money going to Facebook? Why am I my clients pay Facebook and Google more than they pay me? Why is that? And so it was strange because we used to have this conversation with clients oh, you have to spend more in ad spend to get better results. But actually we're finding by spending less in ad spend, ironically, we're getting more leads, which is weird. Have you ever noticed that with a Facebook ad campaign? You actually increase your budget and you get less? Why is that? It seems like there's something going on there with the algorithm that sometimes it's just better to spend $1,200 or $1,500 than it is to spend $3,000 or $4,000. So why should Facebook keep that difference? Your agency can keep it instead if you know how to structure it properly. So you can build a lean, scalable AI agency fast. So I breezed through that. My green tea helped me get through this session pretty fast. And so we've got 15 minutes or 12 minutes to spare. I would love to do some Q&A. If you're watching on the stream, feel free to post your questions or any questions in the room, and then we're going to have lunch in about 10 minutes. Yeah, go ahead, Raul.
I have a question. You brought up a very interesting stat earlier about roofing, and I think that's something about remodeling, kind of the financing element, kind of if the business doesn't have financing, it's kind of it's obviously much more difficult for that company to close deals, right? Where somebody does have financing at 0% interest, interest. Is that a qualifying question you do when you do the actual lead to sales call, or that's not part of this?
No, it's not really. I think that it sounds like from the conversations that we've had, Raul, is that you're just attracting you're attracting certain people. I don't know if it's just because you're targeting the Latin market or what, that just aren't really established businesses. Yeah. You're talking to people they basically are a subcontractor or they're doing a few jobs here or there. They're not really a business. So it may be something that you want to try is doing the same thing that you did with the furniture stores, which was, hey, let's run some English ads and see if we can tap into the Spanish market. Because I'm sure in some of these communities where roofers have door-to-door people, they have big door-to-door divisions, in markets like Houston, Miami, all throughout Texas, San Antonio, Southern California. I'm sure that they have Spanish-speaking bilingual sales representatives, and that might be a good niche for you to target after. Hey, if you're a home improvement company and you want to go after more of the Spanish market, newsflash, they're going to buy from a Spanish-speaking salesperson more than an English-speaking salesperson. So let me help you with that. That might be something you want to look into.
Well, I guess my question to you is more specific of the actual financing of it, because I noticed a trend too. I had a full client for a year. He was making like 200,000 a month from the modeling business.
Yeah,
And a huge majority was sales, was finance.
absolutely.
Is that something you also notice too, that the people that are more successful, like, do you see like a distribution, maybe like, because of, okay, that's like a question because he has financing. Is that something you notice as well? Kind of like when you,
Well, like primarily everyone we talk to has financing. It's like very rare that someone's selling a high-ticket home improvement project, whether roofing, solar, generators, or anything, doesn't have financing. It's like 98% of people have financing. So like the 2% that don't have financing just aren't really established businesses. So I think you're like might be just like getting some lower end prospects with your marketing right now.
you notice that, I guess maybe you have the data, like for your actual clients, when they actually make a sale, you know, the distribution, how many of them are finance deals versus not?
It's like 95%.
Are finance?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like most people don't spend just like, oh, I have 20,000 to replace my roof right now. Like most, like I think there's like a stat, like, I mean, most families in America have less than like $5,000 in savings, like readily available cash.
It's like $500.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Well, that's like including like probably like renters and stuff, but like most homeowners, like they have to have some type of emergency fund in case something happens, you know. But I mean, it's just very rare that someone's going to drop 50 grand on a solar system. Like they're going to finance it, you know, because the ROI is it's going to take, you know, 7 years to like make your money back on it from the solar. And like most people just aren't that forward thinking. If they have like a huge portfolio of assets, then like, sure, like, yeah, I'll just pay cash, but it's rare.
But when you say finance, like Synchrony, like I guess these finance companies, a bank, or like credit card.
Like a financier, like lender contract. So like they sign up someone with a lender like Synchrony
Yeah.
or like GoodLeap or like any of these big lenders, and they sign up for a contract and it's no money down and they just have a monthly payment.
Oh,
And then the lender pays the contractor the full amount.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so yeah. Just thinking credit cards.
No, it's not like no, they're not like helping people take out credit cards for it because that's like it could work, but it's just super risky for the homeowner because like if they don't pay their credit card bill, you know, maybe it's a 0% interest credit card for something, but like usually those are only like limited time offers, like 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. After that, like the interest is just going to rack up so much. So generally, it's like it's a contract with a set interest rate, you know, over a set period of time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So they have to have a relationship with a financer. So like generally, if they have like a decent sized business, like they're doing at least like 100 or 200 grand a month, or 100 or 200 grand a year in revenue, they can get a relationship with a financer like Synchrony or something, and just instead of them paying cash, they're just going to sign this financing contract. Yeah. So like maybe like you can call Synchrony and be like, hey, like I have a bunch of clients who are in the home improvement space that need financing. Like, can I get a rep that I can refer people to so they can sign up with you to get financing? Like that might be a value add that you can provide your clients. You could even potentially charge them for that.
And there's like local Hispanic credit unions in almost every major market that has Hispanic. You could also try that too. Because credit unions are always looking for business. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that. If you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's just more work for the home improvement company. Like some of these more established finance companies, like they specialize in like home improvement projects.
Right.
Like GoodLeap is like they only do home improvement.
Gotcha.
It's like their niche. So like it's probably easier for it's faster, yeah. Whereas a credit union, like yeah, they're gonna have to like underwrite it, but like GoodLeap will probably still underwrite it too. But like they're willing to take on anything because they're so big.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Good leap, is it this one?
Yeah, GoodLeap. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, you may have answered it though, but so when you put the niches up, like doctors, lawyers, things like that, do you niche within that niche? Like certain doctors specialize in, or certain med spas want to highlight mommy makeovers, whatever. Like, do you niche within the niche?
Yes. So generally, like if you're targeting a niche, like you want to find what their money-making product is, right? Like if you're like say for dentists, for instance, like a campaign for a dentist just getting people to come in for cleanings is not really ideal to a dentist. Like they're not going to make that much money. Like maybe they get a filling here, a root canal there, but it's like it's not immediate cash flow. So most dental companies that are buying leads, when lead generation companies target them, they're targeting people that are doing like dental implants. Those are like $50,000, cases, and then like they're doing like, for instance, like Invisalign, which is like a minimum $5,000 or $10,000 investment, right? So they can make their money back faster. So you do want to niche within the niche. Like I'm not that familiar with med spas and like what they do. Like I don't know the difference between a Brazilian butt lift and a breast augmentation. Like I don't know what the price is, but like it's probably they're probably going I don't know. They probably are going to want like what makes them the most money, like if lip filler is probably not going to do it for them, like lip filler is probably, maybe it does. I have no idea, but they're going to want you to generate leads for something that's going to make them money. You want to focus on their ROI.
And so do you know that prior to like
you got to do research. You got to do research. Yeah. Like before you go into a niche, like you want to do research. Like generally, like before we went into generators, like I wanted to see like how much are these generator companies selling generators for, what's their profit margin on it? What's the kind of language that they use to talk about the industry? Because I want to train my salespeople on how to speak that language, all these different things. Like, we're going into the travel agent space kind of on a whim. Like I haven't done that much research on it, but I think if we go after like high-end travel agencies, it'll be fine. The issue with travel agents is that when they book a luxury vacation, like if they book a European cruise for someone, usually those cruises are booked out for like 12 months. So like you're going to have to book someone for 12 to 18 months into the future. But the issue with travel agencies is that they don't get paid until that vacation takes place. So they might get like a $5,000, $6,000 commission, but they're not going to get paid until the vacation takes place. Or if like they sell a first class ticket to someone to go to Europe, they're not going to get paid until the trip actually happens. So like we're going to have to target like luxury travel agents that focus on luxury vacations only, and ones that already have a decent pipeline. Because if they have a decent pipeline, they're a big enough travel agency, then they're going to have money coming in from previous years, and they're going to be able to invest in this for their future. But like for someone who's just like a run-of-the-mill travel agent who makes $80,000 a year, like they're not going to be able to afford $3,000 a month because that's almost 40% of their whole take-home pay. So we have to disqualify some of these lower-end people and just go after the bigger firms. So that's kind of what we're doing, and we're going to test it out and see how it works. But it's a brand new niche that we just launched literally this week. Yeah.
That initial you're testing now, are you going to be doing the first initial sales calls, or you got a point where maybe your sales rep can do that? I know you told me maybe before entering you should have recording calls.
Yeah, I normally take the sales calls first, but since we launched it this week and I was preparing for this event, I'm letting my salespeople figure it out. But probably if they like totally fail on the calls, then I'll probably take a few calls next week or the week after.
So record your
yeah.
Do they ever shadow you at this level? Like, I know you record the sales calls. Is it positive?
No, because their calendar's so filled, they don't have time to shadow me.
Okay.
So I just send them the recording and they research it in their own time. Yeah. But for new reps, they shadow my chief sales officer. Before they ever get on a phone call, they're shadowing my chief sales officer for 2 weeks. Like learning the whole process.
But they're not paid for it.
We usually pay them a little bit for training. Yeah. Go ahead, Eric.
Question. So you said you're running the ads through your personal account, not through your client's accounts. What do you do when you come across a client whose ad account has a lot of pixel data, the thresholds are big for them running ads, and they just got a lot of activity that you can use to retarget it, and you still use your ad account, or do you use their ad account?
That's a really good question. I would probably still use my own ad account just because of the risks of using their ad account. Like if they already have a ton of pixel data and they already have like a bunch of stuff, like the likelihood of you coming in and like crushing it for them is probably pretty low because they probably already run a ton of ads. They probably already have a bunch of people. Like I think it would probably be rare for you to get a client like that because they already have all that pixel data and all of that campaign data. They're probably just doing their own ads. They probably have an in-house ad person or they have an agency that they're currently working with that they're satisfied with. You know what I mean? So I just think it's too big of a risk to like put yourself in their hands, right? Because you could build out the campaign, and if they start getting really good results, more often than not, they're going to try to figure out how to take this in-house because they've already done it in-house before. They have the accounts, you know, they don't need you. They just need your brain to give them the creativity, and then essentially they're just going to kick you off and just take what you worked on, right? So, I mean, not always, but like it's happened so many times, like in the early stages of our business that I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just going to start bringing the clients into my own accounts.
So do you use their pixel data on your ad account, like
No.
their website?
Well, yeah, we could retarget we could give them a code to put on their website to like retarget people. But we could do that, but it would be our pixel going on their website. Yeah.
And it's not their brand. None of your ads will put their logo and brand on.
So it depends, right? So it depends on what niche you're in. So, I mean, for a med spa, I would think that it could be done either way. Like you could do it for their brand. If their brand is like recognized in their area, you can get access to their Facebook page without having to give access to their ad, like go to their ad account. But I think still for like a med spa, like I would probably do like a generic program. Like I probably do like a picture of like someone with like messed up Botox, like just like their face is just like a henchman, like Notre Dame, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like just like messed up with Botox. Like, do you not like want this to happen? Like, there's a program right now that's giving incentives and discounts for Botox with top, you know, industry leaders. Click here to see if you qualify, you know, for your discount incentive. Like, it doesn't even have to be branded. You know, it would just be like generic. And I think that would probably convert better than like looking like it's a commercial, you know? I don't know. But then like other niches, like I think you probably have to do their brand, right? Like financial advisors, for instance, like financial advisors might be tough to do, you know, a generic brand for because they have like marketing regulations. You have to like list their license number and stuff like that. Like lawyers might be like similar depending on different cases, but maybe you could just put their license number on a generic program or something. I'm not really sure of the legality of that, but you know, it depends on the niche. Like for our niches, like solar, it doesn't have to be branded because most solar companies have no brand. Like they're just like a 3 or 4 man operation that have an LLC. No one's heard of their company. Like they don't have any brand recognition. Generator companies kind of the same. Like they're not really necessarily big brands, you know. We can leverage the Generac brand because they're a Generac dealer. That might work better, but like we could do that with a generic campaign like we do. Life insurance, same thing, like not necessarily going to be branded. You know, we try to target niches where we don't have to do branded campaigns just because they're not going to perform as well.
The electrician shops are the generic dealers.
Usually, yeah. Yeah. So, all right, guys, let's wrap up. I don't think we have any questions on the stream, so we'll end it, and then we'll have lunch, and then come back in about an hour.